Hello, welcome back to Mrs. Torres' YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about factoring polynomials, and they are going to be in this form. Ax to the fourth plus bx squared plus c, where a, b, and c are integers. Now, this looks very similar to what we've been doing, right? We're used to ax squared plus bx plus c, and then we factor it into some number, let's say x plus d and x plus e, right? Well, since we have an x to the fourth and an x squared, the only difference is when you factor it, you're going to have x squared plus some number and x squared plus another number. So it's the same exact process. So you can do the box method. We're going to slide and divide. You can use difference of squares. Everything is exactly the same except you have an x squared here. All right, let's look at a few examples. X to the fourth plus 11x squared plus 30. So we're looking for multiples of 30 that add to 11. So 30, we got 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, doesn't go into 4, 5 and 6. See if I can focus this a little bit. That's better. So any of those factors get 11? There we go. So this will factor into x squared plus 5 and x squared plus 6. That is the only difference. Exactly the same. All right, what about this one? X to the fourth minus 9. So this one's a little different. We just don't have that middle term, right? We have x to the fourth and we have a constant. Well, we've got difference of perfect squares. So remember, we're going to take the square root of both those numbers, or both our terms, I should say, and then we add them and we subtract them. So the square root of x to the fourth is x squared. The square root of 9 is 3, so it's x squared plus 3, x squared minus 3. That's it. All right, let's look at another one. How about 8x to the fourth minus 18x squared plus 7. So you might try to jump right into finding multiples of 7 that add to 18, but we need to slide and divide this one. So we slide the 8 over to the 7 and rewrite our expression. So we have x to the fourth minus 18x squared plus 8 times 7 gives us 56. And then don't forget, since we slid the 8 in at the end, we have to divide it back out. All right, so we look for multiples of 56 that are going to add to negative 18. So 1 and 56, 2 and 28. Can we divide 56 by 3? Nope. What about 4? Yep, 4 and 14. Can't do 5. Can't do 6. And then we have 7 and 8. All right, so we need two numbers that are going to add to negative 18 multiplied to positive 56. Well, we can do that with these. We just have to make them both negative. So we'll have x squared minus 4 and x squared minus 14. Don't forget, since we slid, we have to divide. So divide both sides by 8. Neither of these divide evenly, so we have to reduce our fractions. So we'll have x squared minus 1/2 and x squared minus 7/4. And then we take the denominator and it goes out in front of our x squared. So our final answer would be 2x squared minus 1 and 4x squared minus 7. So same exact process, only difference is we have squared there. All right, last thing in this section, you guessed it, we're going to find all of our solutions. So finding all of our solutions of x to the 5th minus 2x cubed minus 24x, and that's going to equal 0. So first we want to ask ourselves, how many solutions are we going to have? Well, we look right there. We should have 5 solutions once everything's said and done. So let's factor. First thing I see, each term has an x. So let's take out that GCF. So we'll be left with x to the 4th minus 2x squared minus 24. That equals 0. Now, luckily, our leading coefficient is 1, so we just need two numbers that multiply to 24 and add to negative 2. Or I should say multiply to negative 24. So let's see, 1, 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Well, if I do 4 and 6, and I need negative 2, so that means my 6 is going to be negative. So we'll have x times x squared minus 6 and x squared plus 4. So that's where we stopped up here, right? It's completely factored. But now we have to find all solutions. We're multiplying 3 things together equals 0, so 0 product property. X equals 0, that's number 1 answer. Then we have x squared minus 6 equals 0. So we can add 6 to both sides. We'll get x squared equals 6. Take the square root of both sides. We get x equals plus or minus the square root of 6. So now we've got 1 answer, 2 answers, 3 answers. And lastly, we've got x squared plus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4, we'll get x squared equals negative 4. Take the square root. X equals plus or minus the square root of negative 4. We can't leave this negative under the square root, so we have to pull the I out. And then the square root of 4 just gives us 2. So x equals plus or minus 2i. So then we've got our answers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 5th answer. All right, that's it for today.